Nothing anybody says, haters, fans, or casuals, can take anything away from J. Cole. He's great. But
what up, y'all? We are joined by a super special guest in the building, Chris Eubanks, one of the greatest tennis players of his era. He got to number 29 on the men's tour. Now he's broadcasting, fantastic broadcaster, and also a super hip-hop head. Loves Drake. We got into a lot of pro anti-Drake arguments when Drake Kendrick was going on. And
I didn't know that.
Super J. Cole fan. Loves J. Cole, loves the new album. So you wanted to come on and talk about the album because we wanted to talk to a J. Cole fan, and nobody better than you. Tell us what you think of the fall off.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first and foremost. I've never actually done a real talk about hip hop. I just you and I text back and forth about it. I value your perspective. You've been in it a lot longer than me. My thoughts on the fall off, though, I sent it to you in a text. I thought, as a longtime Cole fan, I thought it was perfect. I thought, granted, the moment you find out it's going to be, 2 discs, you're like, all right, 24 songs. Being real, not every song is going to be up. I'm going to need to run it back. That's just the moment I saw 24 songs. I'm like, all right, there's going to be some I got to like, or I'm going to like. There's probably going to be some I'm not going to play back as much. But from the essence of what I know Cole to be when I got into him, it consisted of, I'm trying to think of the best way to start it. I worded it well in my text. It had all of the characteristics we're used to with Cole. It was great storytelling. I love hip hop beats that are sampling either old R&B beats or old hip hop beats. I've
so it's an aesthetic you like
100%. And I think part of that too, and I have to look at from Drake, Cole, Kendrick, Wale were the guys that got me excited about hip hop when I got into it. Like I'm in that age group. I'm 29, right? So you take people born in 93, maybe 92, a lot of us, all the way through that kind of 90s, that mid to late 90s, a lot of us love Cole. And
How
I think
old were
because
you when you started to really get into hip hop?
Freshman year of high school. Friday Night Lights was the first thing that, and also I think the way that music was consumed was a little bit different. Like I didn't really go and buy CDs. I started listening to music a lot when I could download it off of Dat Piff and a lot of hot new hip hop. Like that was kind of my introduction into hip hop, right? So before then, I'm from Atlanta, so it was a lot of radio play. It was what I heard on the radio, and I think the thing that those four in particular, the sonically for me, it felt good. It felt good to have, Wale coming in on a R&B sample and hearing that, and then Cole coming in with Friday Night Lights, which had like Too Deep for the intro and all of the other Vilmatic, which was Devil in a Red Dress. Like I've always liked that, bringing something back and making it a new twist, and then making me be like, oh, let me go back and listen to the original. If I didn't already know it. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. But like that's always been something that I like. You called it like an aesthetic for me. I just love that from hip hop standpoint. And I think this album consisted of a lot of that. And a lot of it was stuff that I knew. A lot of it was stuff that I didn't know. And so it kind of was like, all right, so from that standpoint.
Very interesting to me.
Yeah, from that standpoint, the callbacks and the interpolations of old hip hop from T.I., man, and also being from Atlanta, having that Southern influence, I also got to say, I may be biased because I love Southern hip hop. I love the cadence. I love the bounce. When I hear a song, that's what gets me like, okay, out of my seat. I was texting one of my friends. I was listening to the album on a flight, actually. It dropped over midnight and I was on a plane. I listened to it. And the one that really made me readjust in my seat was
Who the fuck is it?
No, Poor Thing. When Poor Thing, because also the end of what was before Poor Thing? Hold on, I got the track list right here.
Run a Train with Future was
so Run a Train. Listen, I love Future. That wasn't really one of my favorites on first listen. Just my personal. I was like, it's good, but I don't think I'm gonna play it back. The way that it ends, it has a very somber ending. And I'm on a plane, mind you, it's after midnight. So I'm kind of like, all right, like waiting on it. And then the beat drops in Poor Thing. And it has that bounce. and it has that kind of like that Southern feel. And so the bounce that he had, and I think a lot of the thing I loved about the album, there was a lot of Southern hip hop influence in it. So there was a lot of from Outkast to Tip to like that. To me, it's like, dang, that just feels like home. So again, I know my perspectives are going to be biased, but I love the R&B and old hip hop samples being used. I loved what I felt like was the Southern hip hop influence all throughout the album.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the storytelling, we could talk about the storytelling. I thought the storytelling was phenomenal. But this is where I'm really curious of you guys as real hip hop historians. I just think technically the guy's amazing. Like I think like the wordplay lyrically. I know I've watched you guys talk a lot. I know Tori, we talked about it. Like you love Johnny P's Caddy. You think that's his GOAT verse. I mean, I'm a Cole fan. I think he's got a lot of better verses than Johnny P's Caddy personally.
What would you put as the GOAT verse?
Yeah.
I think that the second half of Intro 39 was some of the best rapping I've ever heard from Cole. It was about 3 minutes of very slow and kind of got to get there. And I'm listening to it on the plane again. It's late and I'm like waiting, like when is this going to drop? The second half of Intro 39, I thought was some of the best rapping from Cole. I thought Clouds, personally. And granted, it was a full song, so it was 2 verses. I thought that was one of his best verses. And he dropped that as like a throwaway. Just from my understanding of a technical standpoint, the flows, the cadences, the switches, I was like, oh my good. Like, it almost reminds me of like a Kyrie Irving on a basketball court. I don't know if y'all watch basketball, but when Kyrie's handling the ball, he's got a lot of like jerky. There's a lot of like jerking, like pop, 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 pop. Yeah. And that's what it feels like on some of those verses when I listen to Cole. So it's tough to name one that's like for sure the GOAT verse. I know everybody loves Johnny P's Caddy. It's a great verse. I'm not saying it's not a great verse. I love the bounce. And I think being from the South, that's what attracts me more. Is the bounce and the rhythm and the flows that you get from Cole.
Does this feel like a momentous end of career summing up of my talent, sort of putting my flag in the ground and like, you know, or like knocking down the J and walking off, right? Like that's what it should be, right? That's what we were told.
I don't think so, though. I don't think that really is what it. I think what it should be is going to be left up to the person who created it, and that's going to be Cole. We're just interpreting what we think the last album, the fall off, is got to happen. Like I think everyone has a certain expectation of it, but when I went back and listened, it felt like it was almost like a compilation of a lot of his previous works. I felt like there was some Friday Night Lights in it. I felt like, I felt like there was like one song in there that reminded me a little bit of Breakdown from Sideline Story. I felt like there was some storytelling from For Your Eyes Only. Of course, there was some 2014 Forest Hills Drive vibe. I felt like there was something in each of the projects that kind of spanned his entire career. 100%. 100%.
This is my thing. So now, as a person who came to admire J. Cole as an artist later on in his path, right?
Yeah, you started, I think I watched you after 2014, was it? Or Born Center, was it?
2014 Forest Hills Drive. Yeah, 2014 Forest Hills Drive is where I was like, I see what you're doing. Still didn't love the album, but I was like, I get why people like you and you are nice, right? And you made some good songs, great songwriting, great beats. Songs that I actually could put in my playlist, because before that, I didn't listen to him. What I'm saying, I heard and all I heard was beats that I know already. So this is why I like what you said, which I know is my own bias, is that I'm 10 years older than you. I was listening to the original sample.
That's true.
And it's actually hip hop. So there's a difference. Whereas like Touré's listening to someone take a disco thing and make it hip hop. That's a different genre switch. I'm listening to a nigga take a hip hop song and make it a hip hop song. So all I'm feeling as a bias is this better than my beat? Is this better than what I have? You know, I have and I know that's my own personal bias, and that's what production, that's fine. But this nigga's so nice, even though I don't like the beat, I'm liking the song.
Yeah,
that's how you know a nigga is nice.
Can I ask one quick question?
Go ahead, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Green. I want to ask one quick question there. Do you think that because you have an affinity to the original beats, part of you is also like, I like what I like the original. I don't really want someone to come in behind it and maybe slow it down or take the or like just to mess with it.
I don't think it is innovative or I don't think the production is actually that good for my taste and liking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when
where you from?
Virginia. That's where.
Okay.
So when I think about music and production, especially as a producer composer, like this is what I do for a living. So it's like when I think about it so many different levels, and then but I know what I like just at like I like the sound of a piano. You know, someone might like the sound of a sax, right? I know what I like and enjoy these. Just like how you said that I like Southern sounding things and R&B and soul. That makes perfect sense to me. While you could listen to a Cole album and you're like 100% satisfied. Whereas for me, I need so much from the music and the songwriting aspect of it for my taste and liking that's where it gets lacking for me on Cole. On a writer tip,
on a production side.
And songwriting.
Okay.
So songwriting is like
songwriting.
Are you digging these beats on this album?
Who, me or him? Because he said
Chris.
Yeah. A couple of them had to grow on me though. For sure, a couple of them had to grow. There's no way I sat there and listened to 24 and was like, "Oh, I love every single one of them." I'm not going to be that delusional. Yeah. There was some that had to grow on me, but again, I'm just partial to the ones with the bounce. I thought Safety was a great beat. Also I love a soulful beat as well. Like you mentioned it. I said I love the R&B soul and also old hip hop. I love a soul beat, but I don't want it too slow. If that makes sense. Like certain ones, it's like I don't want it too. So I want that up tempo, that kind of bounce that can kind of get you going and get you excited. So that's why the moment Poor Thing dropped, I went, okay, all right, this is what I'm looking for. And then also later in the album, when he had the interpolation on 24 was by T.I. It was like hearing it and being like, okay, that's, so I love the production. But again, I'm partial to that style. I'm partial to that.
I think Poor Things is a great jam song in general. But as far as like on this project, here's another thing too that gets me. So outside, you're in his fan base. You understand him. You know all his albums. All that.
Yeah.
I had to figure out what was the disconnect for me in the whole Cole as a character. Who is this like person? And it's realized that it's like through his music, I couldn't figure out who he is. You tell me who J. Cole is as an artist, as someone that knows. Tell me who is J. Cole.
Again, I'm telling you from a fan's perspective. It's so funny that you say that you don't really know who he is because I
listened to his entire discography, by the way.
Yeah, I understand. I think that I'm gonna do it two ways, right? I'm gonna say as an MC, I think he's a hip hop head. He's a hip hop historian. I think that he's a storyteller. I think that as a person, clearly he loves basketball. There were tons of hoop references in here, like tons of them. And I caught them, and I was like, "Dang, just like he did Friday Night Lights style." So many hoop references. But I think the biggest thing that I took away, and I think why a lot of people, especially in my age group, especially, really, really like Cole, is because he's imperfect. It's because he's human. It's because he'll say on a track, "I'm the best rapper in the world," but will also follow on a track and say, oh, man, he has I know a lot of his songs, but he has one in Trader Truth and Ibiza where he goes, wait, I thought I had it. He says,
you could go find a line if you.
Yeah, but he goes, instead of pretending like I was some imperfect, instead of pretending like I'm some incredible nigga, just let him hear all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the weak is he. The nigga who thought of it. Any other portrayal for anything is fraudulent. So he's like, I'm not perfect, right? I'm gonna drop something and I may not like, and it may not be good, but that's okay because that's a part of being a human. And I think for a lot of time, I grew up around a lot of rappers who who were superhuman, never did anything wrong. Everything they drop, all they talking about is money, cars, like everything. It's like your life is so great. But then Cole would get on the album and be like, oh, I feel a way about this. I don't know how I feel. I wanted this fame, but it's not maybe what I thought it was going to be. And it allows for other people to sit there and listen who have grown up in a social media era where everything is thrown to be this amazing life is good to be like, no, let me show you the human side. I'm
just happy to hear Chris say the N-word. That just made me very happy. Because you was the die, but around it, I'm like, is he like, I don't want to do that in public. I'm like, it's a nigga show. Like, what's really good? Like,
this is what he took away from all that. He was like,
that's what you took away. I'm up here trying to quote the lyrics right, and you sitting up here just like, did he say it? Did he say it?
Did he say it?
Said it.
He
Yes,
just said
yes, I can tell he says it on the low.
Look,
Wait, let me ask you one other question.
Well, sorry, Tori. It's a cool. I wanted to address Green real quick. I wanted to hear what his thought, like that imperfectness. I think in totality, it's the ability to be fire at your craft, like be unbelievable at your craft, but show a human side to the world, to hip hop, and just to everyday people. That's like, yeah, I may be really good at this, but I still struggle with this, and it's not like a depressing vibe all the time. Like he has a song. Here's what I'll say, and I'll end there. He has a song I feel like that can address a lot of people's concerns at different stages of their life. No matter what they're going through. Doesn't matter if it's Crooked Smile. I knew people in high school who were very subconscious about their smile, and they loved Crooked Smile when it came out because it was like, oh man, I've heard like I don't got to be perfect. Wet Dreams, like crazy. Like me and my boys were talking when that came out. It's like, bro, like it kind of felt like that's kind of that seems familiar, you know. Like so many of his songs, I feel like touch different people in different ways, and it's not just all one dimensional. This is what we're talking about. I grew up, like I say, in Atlanta. There's a lot of trap music. I can't relate to trap music, but I love it. Like I love trap music. I can't. I listen to the beats. I listen to the rapping. I'm like, this is fire. I have no connection to this world.
Most people can't relate to trap music.
Exactly. But Cole has something. I feel like that is something that, as imperfect as we all are, there's something you can connect with.
I agree with that. When I look at things so like the actual micro parts and aesthetics of what he's doing in the writing. And my thing is that bar that you put out about, oh, I went through the bad, the good, the ugly, and at the end he kind of wraps it up. I forgot the exact words.
Yeah, it was like the good, the bad, the ugly, the strong, the weak is he, the nigga that thought of it. All the portrayals of anything different is fraudulent. So it's like anything that I'm portraying that's different than good, bad, strong, weak, whatever, everything. If it's anything different than that range of emotion, it's fraudulent. Like it's not real.
Yeah. And he tells his stories from an observer perspective, the way that he writes, because that's what that is. And if you can fill in the blanks, like he's not going to force feed. And I don't think this is a negative thing. He's not going to force feed you his narrative. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like another artist is going to be like, I went to the street and this is where I was at and doing this. The details can be force fed and good, or it could be force fed and bad. Just because you first person it. Like what I'm trying to say is like Stan and what was it, Quick Stop, or on this
Quick Stop.
project?
Yeah.
Those are very similar if you're talking about your relationship to a fan, right?
Yeah.
His way is the observation of what this means to the fan and him as a overseeing omnipotent.
Yeah. He tells it from the opposite perspective. He tells it from the fan's perspective. Like a lot of his rhymes and his storytellings are told from a different perspective.
Sometimes, yeah, depends on the perspective. But I'm saying in the words and the writing is you telling it from like, this is what's good or bad. He actually says his perspective of the instance in the song. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He kind of did that with that. He'll say that. Whereas when you take Stan, it's just this, you're in the moment with Eminem and that kid's writing it, and you're in the actual moments, and you're not getting the perspective or the observer standpoint from an outside. You're getting it from, hey, Stan, you were wrong for this, and blah, blah, blah. Not this should have, and this might have made him think this way. You know, he's telling you the thoughts of the other character as well as his own character in that quick stop. That to me puts a opacity on the story, and that's why I feel disconnected with some of the narratives. That's me personally. But that's not a good or bad thing. That's
okay.
Me,
It's a preference thing.
Yes, it's a preference in a writing thing, but I also think that when we talk about the come up and all these type of things, it's like he's almost being this super transparent artist that keeps you at arm's length.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Me personally, I'd rather you don't tell me it's this. I would say this with FD. We're just talking about is like we friends, and you're like, and I'm like, oh, what's going on with you? It's like, yeah, me and my girl going through things. It's oh damn, like you want to talk about it? It's like, yeah, you know what's going on. You know, it's hard. It can be tough sometimes. Oh, but like what's tough about it? You know, I feel hurt. It's like, why you feel hurt? Things happen. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, my nigga? Like,
okay. Can
Out.
I address that point one time real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think as fans of anybody, doesn't matter what realm, I think you subconsciously want more from them. You want more insight because you like this person, or you want to like this person. You want to know this person. One of Cole's narratives that he's always talked about is kind of how he's dealt with, wanting to be the best rapper and having to deal with the fame, but still maintaining that level of privacy. For me, I respect it. I respect the fact that you're not completely opening the world up into your personal life. There are tons of rappers who want to show and give the world everything that they have, give them their whole perspective. To me, it's just not real, because even these rappers that are giving you that whole perspective, that's not what they got going on every day in their life. It's an image, I feel like, that they're trying to project or trying to show.
But I think the image, if you are adopting an image, I don't care, right? But I know you are telling me about your life. And I think in a hip hop context, you talk so much, use so many words to communicate who you are over multiple albums. You kind of got to be real. And obviously some people have fabricated backgrounds, but like, I like to feel like I know the person. I know something about Pusha T's background. I know a lot about Jay-Z's life, right? Like, I know about these people. We know that Cole loves basketball, right? But like, do you feel like you know Cole when you listen to him? Does he really give you who he is in the music?
I think this may just be because I've been a fan, but I feel like, yes. I feel like he gives me at least enough to make me feel like I have a pretty good understanding. And I think part of that understanding is the fact that he may flip-flop. He may change his mind. He may be imperfect, just like anybody, just like you or I or anyone else is going to be. But like, as a personal standpoint, I know about his background. I know his relationship with his stepdad. I understand his mom, that things were okay for a while. Then they had to, like, times got rough, or with the stepdad, and then they moved to a different area. Life was a little bit better. He talks about the kind of the tightrope that he had to walk between his old friends in the hood where life was very, very grimy. And then when he got to a better area, middle class, now he's got his own room, he's got his own yard, and he felt kind of torn because his boys back in the hood. Like, I know all this stuff because I've listened to his album. So me, I feel like I know a lot about not just his upbringing, but the thought process of going to North Carolina, being in college. Like, I also listen to the Inevitable podcast where he and E talk a lot about and chronicle everything. So as a fan, I think I do.
Yeah, that's the part. I want to try to, because I feel like people who are listening, and maybe you as well, is like, when I talk about, it's not that he's not telling these stories. It's not that he's not giving you the information, and especially somewhere too, especially as a fan, if you're listening to a podcast, you can now connect the dots to, I said this thing and I know the details of why that's there, right? What I'm trying to say is in the style of writing, it's like it's just, he's being very authentic and vulnerable and saying, oh, I was hurt. But like, what were you hurt about? I'm saying like the depth of it is at a different level for my writing, for the disconnection that for me, I'm trying to say, for the disconnection. But I don't think that's a bad thing. But now the other thing is, I wouldn't agree that someone like Pusha T is telling people about himself. I think that J. Cole and Pusha T are in the same space, and I like J. Cole when he's more in the Pusha T space, when I mean that this is all I'm talking about. I love
where it isn't kind of like
about rapping. When he's rapping about rapping, or rapping about just whatever the songs, when he's on a feature and all that type of stuff like that. That mixtape he just dropped, and the mic
Birthday Blizzard
later. That's like you listening to Big L, MF Doom, Pusha T.
So did you like Might Delete Later? Just quick aside, I'm curious.
He was rapping his ass off on Might Delete.
See, I said the same thing. I think the apology makes Might Delete Later as a whole kind of get stepped up. People just kind of skip over the whole tape. But I thought that was some of the best technical rapping I've ever heard. And it was track after track after track after track.
Cannot be stopped when it comes to that writing shit.
Like, the technical ability of the guy and the pen is fantastic. I think sometimes it goes astray. I think far too often the music and the song itself is just not working. But
what do you think is not working?
Songs, Ray, on the album?
Oh my God. What
Do you have any?
You want me to name specific songs on the album that I didn't like?
Even a moment, like a vibe. Do you remember something that were you like,
oh, you did like? I think you said that you did like.
That I did like? Well, I mean, I like Quick Stop a lot. And what was the joint we did that we broke down? The first single that went backwards?
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. The Fall Off is
inevitable. The Fall Off is inevitable. Unbelievable.
That's incredible. And like the Erykah Badu song, but then especially that 39 in the middle there. I think
how do we feel about What If?
The middle is where I felt like it got good, like when the beat dropped on 39.
Yeah, when it kind of slowed down. Not the. I know you love the 39 intro. I mean, like that 39 disc in the middle. Of that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's like after the Erykah Badu joint, when you get into the Petey Pablo, the Burna Boy, I Love Her Again, which is like, you know, you redid what Common did, but not really even innovated that much.
You didn't think so. You didn't think that one with Common was pretty cool.
It's like he's very talented, but then a lot of these are not great songs, right? Like a lot of these are not songs that we need to be listening to again as far as beats and construction. And I'm like, you're a great talent, but why aren't these songs on your final album better than this?
Yeah, but I think that's where there's a major disconnect, right? I think that Cole fans, like at least on the I've checked different social media sites just to try to get a feel on what other people are saying after I kind of formulated my own. There is a bit of a disconnect where the casual fan or the casual Cole fan is like, yeah, it's not really hitting for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like even the way that you responded to the Erykah Badu sample, like for me, it was like that's insane because Too Deep for the intro on Friday Night Lights was one of my favorite Cole songs with Badu on it. So the fact that he brought her back, I thought that like the one with Petey Pablo, like he had been getting a little bit of flack for, you know, North Carolina, Petey Pablo, like kind of paved the way. You guys haven't worked together. And so when I heard Petey Pablo, my ears perked up. And it was also with the T.I. influence on the same track. So again, for me, as I don't know if it's a Southern thing, if it's a Cole, it could be a combination of everything. I felt like when on first listen, I thought Diss 39 was my favorite on first listen. And as I started to listen to Diss 29 more, I was like, I don't know. It's 29 got some heat on it.
I want to ask you to bring in a little tiny bit of perspective, if you will, because most people who watch this show, if you ask them to name a tennis player they love right now, they would probably say Coco. Right? She's probably like the most favorite tennis player who's out there now of hip hop fans. And you guys grew up together. You're super close. When you guys are on TV together, it's so fucking cute. You guys, the whole shtick is amazing. I'm sure you've talked to her about this, right? I know she's a Cole fan too.
I haven't. She's in the Middle East. I haven't even. It's tough to go. So when they go, it's like I'm not going to be able to hit you about it. But probably around a couple of weeks, Indian Wells, we'll chat about it.
Okay, yeah, I want to know what she thinks. I know she's a big Cole fan.
Cole consensus is. But let me say this about the concept. So there's in the concept, there's depth in him trying to do Diss 29. It's him 29 going back to Fayetteville, trying to like readjust with his love and relationship with Fayetteville. And then Diss 39 is him after the battle trying to reconcile with what it means to be in hip hop and reconcile his perspective with hip hop and being famous and that transience and that, right? Those are the two like overarching concepts for the diss. Do you feel like he fulfills those fully in both? Or does
probably not fully. I think there's a couple of them that I'm like, oh, that seems a little maybe out of place based on the concept that we're especially in the first part in 29. I can't remember the song, but I know there were some lines that it felt like it was current Cole rapping in 29 for sure. It felt like I was like, this is Cole getting some off his chest right now of how he's feeling. 39, it was a lot more about his family, a lot more about his relationship. To me, that was okay. That's 39-year-old Cole. That's the perspective I thought. I know, Tori, you asked about What If. We didn't really talk about it. I thought to me that was clearly a 30. That was a 39. That was clearly like that was meant to be a more matured, for like let me sit back and let me just protect my peace, like that type of Cole.
Getting a lot of attack for that joint in particular. For What If?
I hate that song.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Why do you hate it? What is it about? Is it the fact that Is it the fact that you still hung up on the apology and now you're making Big and Pac apologize to each other and that's not hip hop? Is that what it is? Or is it because for me, when I heard it, I'll be honest, it's probably not a song I'm going to replay that much, but I don't know if this is the sports side of me. I admire skill. And we talked about it at the beginning, like I love skill. I thought it was very, very skillful. The way that even with listening to the Big verse, the way that the pocket that he was in, where I know it's bubbling. I was like, oh, he's rapping. And I was like, oh, he's rapping like Big. He's rapping like Big. And then when Pop came on, it felt like it was a bit more emotional, a lot harsher. Like it was kind of like how I remember going back and listening to Pop, how I remember Pop's tone to be. And so I respected. I was like, listen, I may not go back and play this song too much, but the skill aspect was I was like, man, he really rapped like Big, and then he really rapped like Pop. And with what I thought was a mature 39-year-old Cole kind of saying, listen, this is stupid. Like, what if this just never happened? So I didn't have a problem with it, but you guys may differ.
Yes, the whole song is, oh, if they apologize, would they still, what if they apologize? Would they still be alive? Right?
Yeah.
That made by someone in that space, maybe, actually, I don't even want to do that. It's because it's used as a proxy for his apology. And I think that it's disrespectful and without context to what they were going through.
Disrespectful to say that if they had been able to squash the beef, that the beef was stupid.
Use it as a proxy.
Wait, hold on. They did not kill each other.
Yes.
Right. Pac dies out of a gang problem. Right.
Yes.
And Suge is
he was also shot when he was shot in New York. And I think that was the stuff that Cole was addressing in the beginning. When he was shot and he thought that Big set him up. That's why Hit 'Em Up came.
He knew that Big didn't do that. He knew that Jimmy Henchman did that. He did a song about Jimmy Henchman. I'm going to get you back for shooting me in New York.
Okay.
He blamed Biggie though out. He blamed Biggie and Diddy at the time
moment, but he learned shortly.
He learned. Okay.
He learned quickly thereafter. No. Yeah.
Either way, I just think that that's gaslighting. I think that's like a major gaslighting for you to be like, yo, it's like people don't understand. Oh, I apologize because I was being a bigger person. Because you know what happens when you don't apologize? That could happen. That's not okay. That juxtaposition to me is not okay. What you guys were doing and what was going on over there are two different things. And to try to make that the case is like meta gaslighting. I'm like, I'm good on that. Can you rap? And did he try to do the Biggie thing and do the Pac thing? Yeah, I see. Try to put the flow. He just didn't rhyme Hennessy and enemies. He should have done that, and then it'd be exactly Tupac. I'm not okay with being gaslit, and I am one of them niggas that think that the apology is a thing, not because of some like when people bring in maturity when it comes to rap beef. I'm like, you guys piss me off. This
okay,
is
why? I would love to know why. I would love to know why being.
So if you are mature like me, if somebody said some shit to me and I know it could go left or right about all this, I'm not saying shit because I'm fucking mature. I'm not gonna battle your ass at all. I'm not gonna battle you and then take the track off a week later because I didn't understand what was going on. You either have the grit to go in, and that's the place you're in, and you understand the sport, because everyone who's done this has understand the sport and has came out on the other side when they actually respected it as that, right? And things could have tensions. There was tensions with Jay-Z, Nas. There's tensions with Kiss and Beans. Jay-Z had tensions with Fat Joe, and those things get squashed over time as they grew. If you are about that life and you're a part of that situation and you speak into that space, you either there, you're not. It's this toe in, toe out that people like to forget. If he didn't say anything and said, oh, I'm not battling you, I don't want to do this, this is deeper, this is different, right? I would understand that and take it from that space. He's like, oh no, I misstepped. After finding more information, I'm not gonna do it. But you shouldn't go in. You should know. I know that some shit could go this way if I start doing this. You should already know that. That's maturity to me. That's responsibility.
Okay. To me. Yeah, we could go back and forth. I don't want to make this a big long thing. I think the one thing I will say about that is I'm trying to think of the best way to. I'm trying to condense it because I don't want us to morph into a talk about the beef. Obviously,
it's fine if it does.
What I will say is right. He spoke about it on I think it was Port Antonio when everything was happening. Obviously, no. When everything was happening in real time, where we always have the hindsight of 2020 as a result, like we can look back on it. But in the moment when everything happens, and naturally, personally, when I heard it, I never thought that line of no, the original when Kendrick's versus Future. No, Kendrick and Future.
Oh, Big Me. Big Three, Big Me?
Yeah, Big Three. I never thought that was about Cole. I never had it. I was like, this is not really his space. It didn't feel like. It felt like that's one of the things where maybe you got some homeboys, tensions building, and you're like, you know what? I can see this really ain't got nothing to do with me. This is y'all too. I'm gonna head up. But anyway, he talked about it like in the moment, people around him gassing him, you gotta respond, you gotta respond, you gotta respond. To me, you're saying now, the mature thing is to dead all of the people around you, apparently, that are encouraging you. You got to jump in, and being like, hey guys, no, I don't think peace is more important right now. I can understand the almost like the energy around it and being like, all right, like, yeah, maybe I should do something. Maybe I should like. I've had squabbles with friends. I've had beefs with friends where you jump in it, like you think that it concerns you, and it really doesn't. And you can do one or two things. You either stand 10 toes down and say, you know what? I'm going to stay here because I got in the middle of it. And so I'm going to make sure this happens. Or I'm going to say, you know what? This is beyond me. This ain't got nothing to do with me.
But you understand that you made a mistake, though. You understand that was a mistake. Here's the difference.
Wait.
Jumping in.
No. The apology. Do you think the apology was a mistake?
No, I don't think. If he wants to apologize, let the man apologize. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with, like, a mistake and what?
No, here's what I mean by a mistake. I'm saying you just said that you could get coerced by your friends, peer pressure to fight. Like you're at the basketball court, your friend does something, and he's like, "Oh man, he dunked on you. You can't let him do that. You should fight him." And it's like, "Oh no, but we're friends." Whatever. Someone convinces you to like throw a punch, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you guys kind of scuffle, but you're like, "Yo, I don't beef with that. I'm cool with you. You actually my man," and you apologize. When you apologize, you understand that throwing that punch was a mistake. Because you apologize, so throwing that punch was a mistake. So you made a mistake.
Yes,
that has never been acknowledged by that nigga, other than the apology on stage. But
what else you want? How else can a person?
No. Here's why. Because we're talking about music. No.
I don't mind. I don't mind the apology. We are in the minority. A lot of the millennials are very upset that he apologized. You can't jump out of beef. You can't say, I shouldn't have gotten into this. Like the things he said on that record, he's like clearly didn't mean. Like, I don't mind that. I don't like the notion that this person who seems very intellectual, very in control of themselves, very much a leader in their own movement, you're saying he was overly influenced by others around him?
That's human nature, Torre. That's human nature. No matter how big of a leader you are, no matter how big of a leader you are, if you got people around you that are going to encourage you in this heat of the moment, we're forgetting tensions were high at that time. I was in Europe. I was checking every track that was coming out, waiting. Like it was like there was a buzz around hip hop. Like that's the thing too. We forget there was a crazy buzz around hip hop at that time.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know how that could be your statement in that, Torre. That to me is so wild. Of course, I'm a rapper. Everyone around this nigga came at me. Everyone around, and I tell everyone I'm the greatest, and everyone's telling me you got to come back at it. I don't care if that's your boy. You got to come back. That's what the game's telling you to do. That's what hip hop is. And you love hip hop. You're like,
exactly.
I should do this.
I should do it.
I blame him for making a mistake. He has not acknowledged. I don't blame him for
how you realize.
That's the part I don't get.
24 hours.
You guys cut me off every time before I can finish. Let me finish this one statement. He has not acknowledged his mistake in rapping, but he has tried to gaslight you into why it was okay for him to make the apology, but never took ownership in any verse. He only tells you that, yo, I didn't want to do that shit because I'm it's not that I couldn't beat him. I could have killed him. Oh, it's in Port Antonio. In this verse, it's like, yo, if Biggie and Pac actually apologized to each other, maybe that shit could have went different. So you should look at my apology differently. No, nigga. Where is the verse about Where is the statement about, hey, nigga, yeah, I fucked up? No.
Okay, to me, that's exactly what Port Antonio was. That's exactly, he addressed it shortly after he drops Port Antonio. I'm not about to keep explaining my apology for the next time. I got other tracks I'm trying to do. I got projects I'm trying to, I address it. He's even followed up with a couple things on one of the songs on the album here was like, I don't know if you guys, it was like I Love Her Again. It was like the double meaning between hip hop and whatever. When he said, called two of my friends, start the beef. She told both of them that you were the great, whatever. He's had little snippets. He did a whole song, Port Antonio, whole song.
Song he did not. That song he still tries to gaslight you with the "I would have killed this nigga in the battle if I didn't want to." He said that.
Okay. So got it. Okay, I get what you're saying. It wasn't to your liking the addressing of it, because to me, I heard it and I was like, all right, that's probably all we go get from him about this. Like that's what I heard as a fan. Yeah, and I was like, all right, whatever.
That's not addressing it by saying the mistake I'm talking about. That's not addressing it. It's like, yeah, I didn't want to battle. It's not that I didn't want to battle him and I would have lost because, I could kill niggas. It's like, that's my friend. And I'm like, that's basically a shot. Secondly, I have no problem with you not addressing shit. I didn't say you should address shit for the whole life, but you make a whole gaslight song where you reimagine Biggie and Tupac apologizing to make your apology look. Just don't make the song. Who cares? Move on for real. If you moved on, move on for real. Or
here's the okay. I see what you're saying. What I took out of what. Go ahead, agree.
If you think that Cole is still like the GOAT MC and all that type of stuff, how he moved after that probably makes sense to you. Like if you still think he's in the big three or better than Kendrick Lamar and I mean Drake, I don't even consider him a MC anymore. But
sound like Torre.
Yeah. No, he's
hell
not
yeah.
There's a criteria for MC, and Drake has been proven that he's not an MC. He's a great rap performer and makes great.
You said anymore, which means at some point you thought he was, but okay.
3,000% thought he was an MC because I didn't know that everybody wrote his shit. I've heard songs.
Anymore is his personal understanding that Drake doesn't.
Okay, got it.
Okay, maybe he's a rapper. Then he realized Drake doesn't write. Then he's like, okay, so you're out of the
MC.
conversation.
He's a rapper. Anybody can rap. You can rap, Chris.
He said he's a rap artist.
He's a rap artist, rap performer. But J. Cole is an elite MC, and I still put him in that category. There's these other type of rules that we look at when we see it where we're like, oh, in this range you didn't do this thing. So when I hear certain things about I'll kill any nigga standing, you wouldn't kill any nigga. I know for a fact that you wouldn't kill
like that's the part that always gets me with people, because it's like the idea that he can never talk about bodies that he's got. He got, even in the song, he goes, ask your favorite rapper for the evidence. I got skeletons in the closet. Ask your favorite rapper for the evidence. Like,
who are the skeletons, Chris?
I don't know. Ask your favorite rapper. Don't ask me. Ask your favorite rapper. I guess the big thing is too, is like these bars get taken so seriously by I think true hip hop heads, and that's the part for me coming from a different generation. It's like every time he mentions that he's the best or he'll murder anybody, I'm not going to sit up here and keep rolling my eyes, because from a skill standpoint, I'm looking at things I think is maybe that from an athletic background, my mind is, I look at things skill wise. How skilled are you at your craft? Yeah. For me, he can say whatever. He can say he gonna murder anybody, because from a skill standpoint, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody that you can definitively say is better. So if he wants to get out here, Chris. So I look at it from my perspective, and I think it's just maybe Torre, it is a sports thing. I think Kevin Durant maybe the greatest basketball player ever because he's so skilled. You said what?
There are better. No, they're either as skilled people than him. No, I'm not gonna say better. That's a complete.
Yeah. But I argue it. That's why I said arguably. You can have the argument with somebody about find somebody more skilled or from a skill standpoint. I think he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's on.
That's the way I look at it.
Modern MCs as far as skills, for sure.
Yes, that's one of my biggest criteria. And I know you guys have different.
Yeah, I got sports
for sure.
Yeah,
skill set. You could say that this person is the best shooter in the game, or he can serve better than this other person. Say this person serves way better than this other person, but never beat the other guy. You have a great serve, my nigga.
Yeah, but the problem is with music, so much of it, there is no definitive competition. If I step foot on court with somebody, we know the rules. We know the rules are clearly outlined. These are the confines. We got this amount of time. You got to get here before I get here. That's the rule. However you get there is the game.
This is how
I don't think hip hop is that way, but I think a lot of people in hip hop love to make it that way.
It's not a one-on-one easily definable like a sports game, right? Like
it's subjective,
right? Well, but it is you against the world as far as can I captivate a large number of people's attention either for a short period of time or a long period of time, right? If you drop a song that, let's say 60% of hip hop is suddenly like, I am completely focused on this song. It's all we're listening to. We're thinking about and talking about. You have won. And people years later are like, remember when he did Illmatic? Remember when he did Forest Hills Drive? Like you have a ring, right? Yeah. Like everybody remembers your album. Everybody thinks highly of your album. You didn't need to beat someone the way Kendrick beat Drake, but like we will always remember 3 Feet High and Rising, right? Like forever, right? The infamous forever. So all those people have rings, right? So I would look at it like that, as far as like that's how you get a ring. You're not necessarily competing with the other rappers. You're competing with the audience to get their attention.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Greg.
You to talk about what he said, that we know that there's so many different other discussions within this culture, right? There's a discussion of you being in the discussion of greatest and all that and having and that's basically what you just explained. You can't take that away from Cole. Nothing I say, and I'm actually a fan, nothing anybody says, haters, fans, or casuals, can take anything away from J. Cole. He's great. But the other thing that's always going to be with him, the same way that it's going to be with Kendrick, Drake, Jay-Z, Nas, Beanie Siegel, Jadakiss, Common, Ice Cube, is these battles. They define who you are as an MC. An MC is a different subset of hip hop culture. People need to understand that is a language that we're speaking. When I'm talking about opacity in his lyrics and writing styles, I feel like it's going to go. People in the comments are not going to really grab what I'm saying and be like, I understand J. Cole. I know who he is. I'm talking about the way he's writing the narrative, not the fact that he's giving you the narrative, but whatever. MC culture, that nigga has a chink in his armor. He was met in a battle, did not battle. We see him that way. So now when we see your MC-ness and we see those bars, we're analyzing it like, greatest bar, huh? Greatest dude, Nick. All right, cool. We etch that out. We move on to the rest of it, and we look at the whole piece, and we still listen to you as an MC. And I'm like, this nigga is unfuck-wittable as an MC. Plain and simple.
But that category of being an MC, like the battle portion of being an MC, is just something that something that you can never come back from.
Well,
I didn't say you can't come back from. I just don't know how you can do it.
It's a decathlon. He's extraordinary at this aspect and this aspect, but to most of them, you have an F in this other aspect that is super important. You have first level, gold medal level, A level shit on this, and this, but this other shit.
And when we say songs and songwriting, like he says, is there songs that would slap and stuff like that? It's like how many songs does J. Cole have that are in the culture in the same way as other people?
That's the thing. That if you ranked modern people, I would probably put Cole for skills bottom half the top 10. Okay, maybe
for
7,
skill
8, 9, just for skill.
Oh, you're saying all time. You're saying all time, or what are you saying?
Of mainly of the modern killers today, right? Like top 10, but not top 5.
Whoa. Right? That's weird. When you say modern killers today, you're
saying he's bottom 10.
You're saying Nas and them are not in this list.
No, Nas just released an album like a year ago, so he's still a contemporary artist.
Active rappers in general.
Yes, active rappers, right? We're not. You really.
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, because let's draw that out. Because what I was saying was echoing what he was saying. Is like if you said, okay, what are your receipts on that one? And I'd be like, what are the songs and albums that like destroyed the culture that represent, you know, what he has done and how? And I'm like, that one I don't know, right? And that's kind of like
do you think I'm just asking a genuine question. Do you think some of it could be a generational thing? Because I think
No.
if you ask a certain demographic, does Cole have songs that transcend the culture? You're going to get a list of songs.
Of course he has songs. I'm saying the amount against his peers or other people. That's all I'm trying to say. As song,
Okay.
Because role models is.
I don't hear you.
Did we lose? I think we lost some audio.
I don't hear you. We lost your sound.
Oh, my bad. I hit the thing.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
There we go.
No, I said, of course he has role models. Is that and so many in a few more songs. I'm saying against his peers and other people, like the way that they penetrate the culture, he's not in that same conversation. In the people who are elite MCs that have elite fan bases that get that GOAT, you know, they have that GOAT aura around them in that discussion where he's like, no, that's the best rapper ever to you, right? When I look at the other person that's like that with the same credentials, this level of songs, like a verses, like they put J. Cole in a verses with, I hate to say that, Kendrick Lamar. Do we think it's going to go okay with that? Like you as a J. Cole fan, non-biased, even biasly, you think that he has 20 tracks?
Here's what I'll say about that, right? I think Kendrick for sure has way hits that are bigger and bigger commercially. They don't resonate with me. I'm just being completely honest. Like,
that's fine.
That's like from a personal standpoint, it's like, oh, and I went through like yesterday. I was like, let me go back and listen to Mr. Morale because I feel like when it came out, I wasn't as in tune with like what I thought hip hop was at the time. I'd like, obviously there was some great tracks on it, but I didn't listen to it beginning to end. And I was like, damn, like some of these songs are for sure going to go up. No doubt about it. Everything in between, I'm like, I could not listen to this and be fine. Like, it's just not for me. I'm not saying he's a bad artist or the bad song. They're just not my taste of music.
Yeah.
I would rather listen to 20 Cole songs than Kendrick songs. And I know that's an unpopular opinion. Man, I know that I'm biased there.
20 Cole songs.
I would rather listen to 20 Cole songs. If we go all the way back from mixtape Cole to now, I can name 20 songs that I would rather listen. Like, I'm not going to say it. 20 songs over Kendrick. That is a bad way to word it.
The general hip hop crowd you understand that a general
hip hop crowd would go with Kendrick. Yeah.
So that's not. I'm not talking about our bias in that moment. I'm saying the general, because there's a bunch of songs that I don't like from all of these Bamas, but I know that they affected culture. You know what I'm saying? I know what they are.
Is when you say affecting culture, are you talking about commercial success as well?
No, not really.
Well, I also think from a cultural standpoint, Kendrick makes more music. I think like that's his thing. Like Kendrick's music speaks to the culture, I would say, in a way that Cole's maybe doesn't. Like the Black Panther soundtrack, the N95. Like he has these songs that I would say from across the whole country, people are like, there's a certain pride in it of like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
but like
and
root
Cole
for Kendrick.
Kendrick's music is, I think it's so good, but it's like it's accepted, I would think, by more by the masses of hip hop fans because there's certain levels of it that I think are more relatable. Whereas like me listening to a Cole mixtape, I'm like, damn, I know what he's talking. Like I've been in that situation, sitting in first class, and a white lady goes, "Oh, what team do you play for?" But like, no one's gonna name Chris Tucker by J. Cole as over Kendrick or one of his songs. So it all depends on who you ask. I just wanted to make sure we weren't talking commercial success because I'm like, yeah, a lot of Kendrick's music they expand more.
They generally don't care about commercial success in this.
But do you think that it does play a little bit of a part though? Like
no,
we can say you don't.
All right,
a lot of times when you're talking about commercial success, what you're really talking about is white people coming to the party.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like ESPN using one of Kendrick's songs as the promo to send to commercial. I'm talking about what's another example? Like obviously we mentioned the Black Panther joint.
Like it appears in the movie. It appears in the TV show.
It's on television. They're like other shows are using a Kendrick verse, not like us after they drop Shaq and Ernie and all them bumping it.
A lot of times I feel like that is representative of a cultural hit, right? That people are making a choice to use something rather than the machine pushing it upward. And you know, Billboard success to me for hip hop a lot of times is like white people came to your party, and I'm like, they don't get a vote on who's the best rapper or whatever. So wait, so I'm gonna try to do this. This is gonna you guys are gonna freak out. So Nas is still a contemporary rapper. So he's ahead of Cole, right? Kendrick is ahead of Cole.
Well, are we talking about skill? Are we talking about with skill? Like, what are we talking about?
This is a weird list because when you're saying contemporary rapper, we either do all time and then you could do Nas because then I think about his earlier work and how much it matters. But if I think about what you did now and your project and your rapping against someone else in their prime, that's not very.
I mean, if it's all time, no one's arguing that J. Cole is top 5 all time.
Some people are.
I mean,
some people argue it. I think it's
ahead of Nas, Jay-Z, and Kendrick.
But sorry. Again, I think when you're saying you're talking about like impact or like, I'm talking about skill. I'm only talking about straight skill. I'm talking about like 3 stacks. I'm talking about Kendrick. I'm talking about skill. Like with a pen, who can make? And again, I think my definition of skill is going to be tailored toward the music and the bounce and the vibe that I like. But I would say Cole is top 5 skill.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. That if I said
is what you're saying,
Nas, J, Kendrick, right? Like you're not putting Cole ahead of the 3 of them for skill, right? Right.
I may put him ahead of Nas. I'm sorry. I'm not putting him ahead of 3 stacks. I may put Cole ahead of Nas for skill. That's just me. I've gone back and listened to old Nas. I've gone back and listened to Nas. Yes, I know. That's blasphemy to say. My personal belief.
Can I ask you a sports question to relate to this?
Please.
Because this is a value thing. If someone is an innovator with a skill set, like tennis, basketball, anything like that.
It's a great question.
So innovator with a skill set and ushers it into the game. Then
it changed the game.
Changes the game. Let's use Michael Jordan. Yeah. Michael Jordan didn't look like anybody else because he did things that everyone else couldn't do, right?
Yep.
10 years, 15 years later, that's the standard skill sets you need to be a basketball player in the NBA, right?
Yep.
Now someone like LeBron has those skill sets, right?
And he's 6'8", 270.
Yeah, body and all that type of stuff. Do you value the innovation of the skill sets as more than the application of them all?
If we're arguing greatness, yes. If we're talking about greatness, because I think greatness transcends what you do on the court, it's also the impact that you have and the legacy that you're going to have after you leave. So if we're talking about impact and greatness, 100%. When we get to skill, just what I can see with my eyes or what I hear with my ears, I would go back and listen to even Illmatic because I hear Cole reference it all the time. I'm like, this is really good. And then we fast forward 10 to 15 years. I think that cadence, like that flows are more commonplace now because if guys have had the ability to learn from Nas and learn from Jay and learn from Rakim and go, oh, this is what they did. How can I take it and use it? I just look at skill.
You putting Cole ahead of Rakim?
No.
No. Okay, so that's 4.
Wait, can we finish Green's point before we go back to this list?
Before we get to so I think as an artist, I've always made this connection with sports because in sports, I agree with you that when I see a skill, it's like, I don't care what you're talking about or who invented anything. Kyrie's the best dribbler I've ever fucking seen.
100%.
What the hell you're talking
Completely
about.
Agree with you there.
It's there. It's right there.
Completely agree.
Not the same thing with art. And here's what I want to say.
That's fair.
This is how I feel about with art and skill set. Cole has no innovative aspects to MCing. He did not bring anything new to the game of MCing, but he mastered
everything that kind of came before.
Every fucking piece. Every other person on this skill list has brought something to the and it's something different. If you say Jay-Z for what he brought from metaphors and
triple
entendres to the cadence
the flows.
All flows. He brought that. If you say that for Nas, he brought that. The
Big. I think Big was one of the most influential rappers because that flow was insane. Like
incredible. They brought that, and that skill set that you bring is actually something that we have to put above for me as an artist,
because we're building on it, because it's continuing to grow.
Yeah,
okay. Well, yeah, I think.
I mean, he does it in an excellent way.
Who did it?
Kendrick has brought something new to MC.
What is it in particular from your perspective?
His narrative style and his way that he writes. So instead of Kendrick doesn't. This is going to be a inflammatory statement to some people. Actually, I'm trying to say it more nuanced. Actually, no, I'm going to say it just in the way. Kendrick doesn't really have bars. When I say that, he doesn't do traditional punchlines. He's not like or as similes. He's not giving you simple metaphors like punchline rappers. And he used to do that. What he implemented to it is he would take the entire verse to make a bar. The punchline is the entire verse. Take the nostalgia verse on Pusha T. You have to listen to the whole thing. To get the punchline. He does that with albums. He does that with verses. The depths and levels that it goes to with the metaphors and punchlines extends to not one word is not a part of the idea and concept. So there's not very much non sequiturs like Tori likes to say. That's something that he's implemented into MCing. That's something that he's mastered and implemented.
I got
you.
I got you.
That's not something that a lot of rappers do. Did I say the only one to ever do it? His style of it and the way that he does it is his innovation.
Okay.
Cole has
you're more of a historian than I am. So
mechanics of rapping, and this is why people think Cole's a better MC than Kendrick, because when it comes to the traditional mechanics of punchlines, metaphors, similes, literary and rhetorical devices, he does them all, and he does them at a master level. So that's all I want to say about the skill part.
So yeah, you conceded Kendrick, Jay-Z, 3K, and Rakim. That's 4. Right. And I think you
know what? I might put Cole ahead of, I'm sorry. Listen, this is gonna be blasphemous right here, right? Similar to tennis, similar to basketball, similar to anything, similar to life. The more time people have to do something, they typically get better at it because they can learn from the people who came before them, right? When we were talking about like a year ago, like I told you, I was like, I'm going back listening to some old Rakim. I was like, I hear the influence of today. I hear how these guys heard Rakim, and I also had to transport my mind back and go, he was doing this when? Like, that's crazy. Cole does that. I'm sorry. Like, it's going to be, Cole does that because he got to learn from Rakim, and he got to learn from all of the influences before.
To fully understand Rakim, you have to listen to the people around him and just before him and say, look at what Run DMC and LL Cool J are doing. And then to understand the complex explosion that is the massive leap forward that is Rakim from them. He's completely different than everybody around him of his era, right? With the complexity of his thought, the way that he's driving in, talking about thought, talking about rapping, talking about the action that he is doing at the moment that he is describing it. As well as the internal rhymes, the more complex multisyllabic rhymes. People were not doing any of that stuff. So he completely changes the game.
Him and Cool G rap.
Nas does that to a lesser extent, but has a massive impact on a lot of people. That level of complexity is fairly normal
nowadays.
So Cole doesn't have the opportunity to expand, to influence, to change things like those people did. Wait, you really gonna put somebody Cole ahead? You're really gonna put Cole ahead of Kendrick, Jay-Z, 3K, and Rakim?
I think that's his take.
Yeah, that's my take. I'll say that. When we talk about skill, one of the reasons I say Jay-Z is the GOAT for me. Okay. Jay-Z is who I think my GOAT is. The fact that some of the verses he went in there and wrote without having to write some on a piece of paper is insane to me. Like the fact that he was going in there doing one take just straight off the top of his head, because to me, that's a skill he talks about he learned from his time before, like when he was on the streets. Like that's a skill.
He doesn't go off the top of his head. He's not improvising.
No. He's writing it. It's like he's sitting there going like,
I think is harder than anything else. People be
100%.
It is. I mean, as we just had IDK on the show.
Okay, nice.
He improvises. He goes to the booth and he just spits.
Yeah,
Jay-Z
that's what Wayne did, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of how Wayne went, right?
Yes, like the kind of that's. I think Wayne is a little bit also like the Jay-Z way in that he thinks about it and then he goes and does it, but he doesn't write it down.
Yeah,
there's the whole thing that he spends a bunch of time writing it, but he's just no pen and paper, right? As opposed to the improv MCs who do go off the top of the head, which is an incredible skill.
Yeah.
But back
to answer your question, yes, Tori, I will. Go ahead.
Black and Wayne and Black Thought and MF Doom.
I'm not about to act like I listen to tons of Black Thought and MF Doom. So I'm going to tell you this. My list is the guys that I listen to and the guys that I have listened to.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest there.
MF Doom's implemented something. Black Thought has implemented something. But let me say this: Kobe studied the game and put himself above everybody by mastering all these skill sets, taking this from this person, taking this and being this amalgamation, mainly Jordan, but amalgamation to be this best.
Mainly Jordan.
I said mainly, but he did take things from
he took some stuff from other players too.
Other players. And that's what made Kobe great. That's what makes Cole great. Cole is
Fair.
Eminem flow on this song. I can do this type of flow on this song. Double speed. I'm going to hit you with that bouncy Southern shit. I'm in the pocket, but they're very, very
familiar.
I hear the references still. I'm in that pocket still with you versus someone else where I'm like, oh, you're doing your 100% own thing here. And that to me is where I
okay.
It's a taste.
Makes more sense now. I understand your perspective a lot because like what you're hearing from Cole when he's going into in his bag, you're like, man, this is really good. This is excellent technical ability, but I've heard it before. Exactly. I've heard something like it before. And if that's what you're taking, because again, you got more years studying hip hop than I do. Yeah. So I can't argue with that either. I'll be like, okay, well, you know more about it than I do. My knowledge is a bit limited, so I can see why you say that.
I feel a lot deeper connection to Jay Electronica and the depth of the philosophical depth that he reaches in his music. That freaking kills me, and I like that freaking fills me up much more than this.
Much more than this. No, I feel, and I think that's all. That's in what I want.
You're not a J-Elec fan. You don't listen to J-Elec?
Not really. No.
We gotta get you some J-Elec. Check out some Doom. Check out.
Listen, I'll take. Send me some stuff, Tori. Like I got more time on my hands now.
You got time until May.
What's happening in May?
French Open, baby.
Yeah, Rolling Girls. There's one other thing I meant to say. I don't even know if you guys can edit it, but I definitely want this part in there. When you talk about the album, one of the big things that I got from the album is the influence that we just talked about, of previous MCs that have inspired him. Mm-hmm. And he had it on the artwork, like the pictures on the wall. He had cannabis posters. He had all these rapper posters that inspired him. And when I listened to it, granted, I'm not going to act like I know everybody that has influenced him and can hear the references probably like you guys can. But for me, it's like he made what he calls his final album something he's been working on for 10 years. And it's almost like an homage to hip hop. I can respect that. Like I can 100% say I'm going to devote my last work to the guys who inspired me because that's how much they meant to me. Like maybe it's not for everybody's taste, but as somebody who just loves the skill part and I get to hear different flows and different cadences and like, oh, that's big. Oh, that's this or that's M's style. It's really cool for me because it's almost like a museum in a way. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from the album for me because I didn't grow up with a lot of them rappers. I didn't grow up listening to a lot of these rappers that have influenced them. So for me at 29, one of the biggest things about this album, talk about the R&B samples, talk about the hoops references, but the biggest thing is it felt like just a total homage to hip hop and all the people that inspired.
I concede to that 100%. And in this conversation, our last conversation, I see the real generational gap that I have to accept that because of my knowledge in my space, I'm looking at something like, I seen this shit. I heard this shit. And that's part of the bias and taste. And I've conceded that already. The songwriting part, that's a different thing.
What did you think of the storytelling throughout?
He's a great storyteller. He's a great MC. So of course he could do all this stuff.
Okay.
Love Her Again, all that. It's the contexts and the point of views, like your actual perception of and what your messaging in the stories where I get misaligned with him. But I'm seeing that's one, generational, and two, cultural, in the sense of like, I don't agree with you, nigga.
Okay.
Like if you're saying the apology thing is like, I just don't agree with you, but did you do this superbly? Is this skill? Like you say, if we take that, extrapolate that, that's fine. I just don't agree with you. So I don't listen to
that's the part I wish a lot of people who were critical just on the stuff that I've seen online, like I wish people would still acknowledge what you just did on the skill is immaculate. Like the skill portion is phenomenal.
You're just
I just don't like the content. I just don't like the content. And I'm like, you know what? It ain't gonna be for everybody. And I think Cole probably knew that when he dropped this album. He probably knew that this was going to hit really hard with his strong fan base. Like that's who this is for, because I want to show y'all the people who inspired me. Those who don't like it, they don't like it. But like what I find a lot of times when people are super critical of Cole, when they go to the whole he's boring or this or that, it's like they just completely reject the skill that it takes to put together some of these like bars. I'm just like, my God. Like,
I mean,
crazy.
I think that when you think of Cole, you think of great skilled craftsmen, right? Like that is his brand, right? And nobody would ever challenge that. And there's no bad rhymes out of this guy. He's incredibly intelligent, very thoughtful, you know, but like what you said, like sometimes we don't like the direction that he takes with the skill. But as far as flows and writing and double entendres and internals and all that, like, I mean, you know, he's elite for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Drake.
Let's not. That's a whole nother hour.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole another hour.
Now Drake is a whole other conversation.
That's how we know we done.
Listen, I'm actually glad, Tori. I'm glad I jumped on because I have an understanding. I think a more well-rounded understanding of like where other people are coming from. Because like I'm listening, and I think so much of my mindset has always been predicated on, for one, do I like listening to the music? Do I like the beats? But also the skill aspect of it. And I'm looking at this man as one of the most skilled people to ever pick up a microphone, and I'm just like baffled when I see the negative stuff because they don't acknowledge the skill. Like for me, if you're like, listen, I just didn't like the content. I didn't like the beats. I didn't like the production. That's very technical and in the weeds that you guys are probably way more versed than me. I just can listen to with my ears. But I'm like, man, I've tried to learn some of these verses strictly from let me just see how difficult. And I think that's when I start to realize how difficult it is when I sat there and tried to say, I actually know a few songs, like word for word, but it's very tough to get. And it's like, how do you sit there with a blank piece of paper and go, all right, yeah, I'm going to flip. I'm not basing your trunk, the bullet, the miss Trump, the gun to jam, because this ain't God had other plans, the son of man. I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
And that's what I've always get enamored with. But you guys have a perspective that's, I think, a bit more well-rounded because you've seen MCs who've kind of done that and introduced that. And you've seen people build on top of it. So you see him, you're like, well, almost like, yeah, like you the best. You're one of the best from a skill standpoint, like no doubt.
Yeah.
But just the other stuff of what it takes to what you explained being an MC is something Torre tried to explain to me when we were arguing about Drake, but I wasn't. It was over text and I wasn't hearing it.
As well as taste, like we have to put out that me and him are talking also about our taste in the like the production, the style. That's something that's opinion based.
Yeah.
The other things are like cultural, but the technical part.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Fair point. Point.
How far? I wonder. Have you gone with Nas? Have you listened to Illmatic? Have you listened?
I've listened to Illmatic. What else did I listen to? One of his recent ones that came out. I listened. So there's a large gap in there. Obviously, Jay is my favorite to go back and listen to. Like,
go.
No, like, but I think that Nas is a critical father of J. Cole. Right. And you know, I mean, I look at him as one of Nas's sons. So if you love Cole, then you should love Nas, and you should deeply understand Nas because it'll help you more deeply understand Cole's place I would look at Rakim as his grandfather, Nas as his father, and then Cole. And surely there's other influences, but the smart, streetwise, lyrics first, high level MC, like
street poet.
Right.
Can I be honest as to why I feel like Nas stuff didn't really resonate where I kept digging in? I just didn't like the beats a lot of times. Like I just it didn't give me that bop and I love East Coast. Like I talk about Southern rap, but I also love East Coast. Like Big is one of my favorite. Hove is my GOAT. But like when I go back and listen to Reasonable Doubt or like Song Cry or like anything, a Black Album, like I'm like, man, these beats are like, yeah, I want to go back and hear it, not just for the lyrics, but for the beats too.
Illmatic is Premier, DJ Premier, and Q-Tip, and who is the other? There's one other. Who's the other legend who produces on? All the producers on Illmatic are legends.
Right? I think I got through Illmatic. It was when I tried the other ones that I was like, the wordplay is great, but I don't have that driving force to go back.
That is his whole.
Okay, all right.
That is his whole thing. I mean, I was doing a book with him once, and I said, "You know what the biggest critique of you is?" And he said, "Yes, I know."
You said this?
Yes. What is it? He said, "People say that I don't pick good beats," and I'm like, "Yes, that is the number one critique." And
he probably wants people to listen to him.
Well, he said, "I know that. And if I picked the best beats that they gave me, it would be too easy for me. And I don't want it to be that easy. So I want to elevate a mid beat rather than just riding on a hot." And obviously, there's Hate Me Now. There's sometimes when he chose a hot beat and wrote, but for the most part, he's like, don't give me your second batch. And let me see if I can elevate some, that shit. That's what he wants. That's not what we want from him.
Yeah, fair.
What he wants. Check out Street's Disciple, because that to me is like Illmatic is baby Nas, is rookie Nas. Street's Disciple, he's like in the game. He's had some ups and downs. It's an amazing double album. One of the records ended up in The Departed, right? So like that had a huge impact. But I mean, like so there's great music. It's great MCing. It's one of Nas's best to me, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'll check it out.
Well, I want to say thank you for having this conversation. I'm glad I had a J. Cole fan here to really like come back. I feel like my eyes were open from the like fandoms aspect, because what I wanted to say is like the people who are not fans, who say the boring shit, all type of stuff, I wanted to find out what that reason was, which was I did. I just think you have a disconnect with his type of writing style. You don't have enough information. He's not force feeding them this information, and you have to do more work to go into J. Cole to be a fan, right? Yeah. And then the people who are fans, I feel like you're not seeing what other people see as far as like, we don't care. Like that's simply that. It's like they either don't like the beat or they don't care about the story that you're telling. But your skill set is there. But it's like you sold a story about wet dreams. What if a person does not care about that narrative? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that part, which is just taste at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you for that whole conversation. We went in. That was it right there.
Tori tried to tell me it was gonna be 20 minutes. I like, Tori, when we get in there, it ain't gonna be no 20 minutes. It ain't gonna be no 20 minutes. He talking about, we just need you for 20 minutes. I'm like, man, my thoughts alone ain't gonna be 20 minutes.
But no, this is a great conversation. You're like, I don't talk about hip hop in public anymore. It's a fantastic conversation. That was great.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys had me.
Because we can have these conversations. Great music, great artists make you have these conversations. There's a lot of people we don't
100%. 100%. And what we're doing.
It's not 100%. It's 99% because we had a great conversation about Drake, and he's a shitty artist.
Anyway, no, I think your point about, thank you to Cole too is kind of what we just ended with on. Now I got homework to do on the MCs that came before that inspired Cole. Like now I'm actually going to go back and listen to more Nas. Like I knew Rewind before, but I didn't pay much attention until Cole dropped The Fall Off Is Inevitable when it was this 2 track 2. And then I went back and listened to Rewind again. And I was like, okay, so now I'm starting to grow my appreciation of the guys that you guys know like the back of your hand that I was just too young to know. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things of, pushing, the culture and hip hop forward is not just focusing on what's being played today and who you like today and how it makes you feel, but also know that the lineage that led to this is also
which is
very
the
important.
greatest thing in the world, man.
I want
100%.
you to check out one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time, which is Exhibit C, J Electronica, where he is telling you this is memoir. He's telling you his life up until that moment, how he came through all the bullshit, and you feel his life and you feel his pain, and some of it I mean, like, I've done like breakdowns of the song, so some of it you may like, I don't understand what he's talking about here, but if you read it, it's like, and that's when I'm like, here's an MC giving me flow, giving me pathos, giving me skill, and giving me a deep understanding of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Cole would put up to say, this is my response to that, where you really get into like the who I am on a deep level.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Check that shit out. All right,
Check
we
it
out
out,
on
man.
this one.